Hello?
Hey girl.
You guys will not believe this.
No, I don't want to touch on.
Told you guys I fall in love fast.
The look on your face, you're like, ooh,
Very healthy to have female
and
friendships.
completely
Yeah, I do want to get married
ghost
again.
me
And I
on
love
this
that.
effing
So finding that
island.
balance
Still
of,
desire
I
to
can
get
have this
married.
hand
Super
where
like,
really
get rid of
having
toxic
Wasn't
people
ever
in
really
places
in
and things.
pain and part of me.
Welcome back.
It's a three-way call.
With Britt Fallon Star.
Hi, ladies.
Hey.
Hi.
Britt's over here just eating. Is that a taco?
And peanut butter jelly.
Oh, PB&J, my favorite snack. I
I'm trying to eat
love.
that 5,000 calories. Yeah,
Damn, girl, you trying to double your calorie intake? Or more than double, right?
that would be more than double. I'm trying to just at least get to 22, 2,300.
Dang, girl. Star, how many calories do you eat a day?
So I just started my cut about 6 to 8 weeks ago. It started at 1,600 and now I'm to about 15. So it's going pretty good. I'm trying not to
Okay,
go lower than that.
if you're not cutting, what's your calorie intake?
Oh, normally I average around 2,000,
Yeah.
like 19, 2,000 on like a maintenance. And then a reverse or bulk will be about that 23. But
Okay.
I always think it's weird because I see these girls, I think they're lying online. I ate 2,900 calories today and I look snatched. Bitch, what are you, 21?
Right?
I don't understand, but
No, crazy. Um,
yeah. What are you thinking you're at, Val? I know you don't count or anything, but if you had to guess,
Hmm, probably under 2,000. Maybe
it's a good
like
healthy amount.
800, maybe.
Yeah, I like sitting there too.
Yeah.
Yes, girl, get it. This bulk is about to be
Hmm.
feisty.
Let's go.
Mhm. Do you know how long you're gonna keep building for, Britt?
um, indefinitely at the moment.
I love it.
No, I don't know. I want to get my maintenance back up to where it should be, which is my maintenance should be 21, 22, but it's really, I'm like right now I'm maintaining at 21, 22, so kind of need to push it a little bit above that just to get over that, hump right there. But I've only been doing it for like 4 weeks, so I need to at least do a few months, I feel, to really see like some change and see how I
Yeah,
feel after that. It's hard.
I know. Well, kind of like what I was telling you the other day, I felt like last year, because I was in my bulk for a good 4 or 5 months, my body started to crave more and more and more, but also I could have a little bit more fun with just a sweets girly. But yeah, I'm excited for you. I think I was just thinking about when do I want to end my calorie deficit and get back to maintenance, but it'll probably be after swim season and all the castings and stuff. So I have a
Yeah.
little bit more time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I maybe like a couple months do a little mini cut, then I go back a couple months and see how I feel. But and who knows? I might, just say fuck it. We'll just see. I'm just playing it by ear, but I'm enjoying it right now. I'm enjoying like the strength and the fullness, which is really nice. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Hell yeah.
But tonight we're talking about something a little bit more serious and a little bit more sad, honestly. Um, which is infidelity. Yeah. The topic kind of sparked. I know we've kind of touched on it before here and there in some episodes, but I don't think we fully dived into it. And it came about because unfortunately my sweet baby cousin is going through this right now. And we'll get into some fun things we've done for people we love when it comes to infidelity or crazy stories like that. But um, it just sort of sparked like, I don't know if we all have experience with that or just me. I don't think I've talked about my experience with it before. Um, shoot. and I feel like I have to talk about it. I was thinking about this a lot before this episode, because I kept going back and forth, like, am I going to talk about it? Am I not? Because I haven't yet brought it
Hmm.
up. I don't talk about it out loud. So I feel like I should, though, just to, because I don't, because it's just stuck inside of me and I don't really talk about it. So I think I will. I don't want to start. I
Okay.
don't want to go first.
I'll go. So I have been cheated on, and I will say that I have also cheated on people. I don't want to justify why I've cheated on people, but I will say anytime I have, it's the other person has cheated on me first, and that doesn't make it right. Okay? Doesn't make it right. Um, but it was also me knowing that the relationship was over, so I just was like already moving on.
Right.
Mm.
So I've done that I think twice now. Um, but I will say, let's see. So my I had a high school boyfriend who was my first love. I was with him on and off all throughout high school. And it wasn't until after we broke up, after being together for like 3 years or 3.5 years, something like that, I actually found out. So all along, I thought that him and I had lost our virginity to each other. Okay. So all of high school, this is what I'm thinking. Okay. And after we finally break up officially, the last time, yeah, after 3.5 years, I come to find out that actually right before him and I first had sex, he had slept with not one, not two, but three different girls right before me, and one of them was one of my best friends. Yeah.
Whoa.
Mhm. Yep. And then the
Wow.
other two were just girls younger than me, like in grades. Yeah. Like they were
Wow.
like, I don't know, I guess they were in middle school because I lost my virginity when I was a freshman. Yeah, I guess they were in middle school. Well, damn.
Dang.
But yeah, so I found that out after. So that was obviously really hard.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, so
How'd
that
you
was
find out?
I can't remember if he told me or someone else told me, but I remember I did have a conversation with him about it and he did say yes, that's all true. But I can't remember if he just came out and told me or if someone else told me and I confronted him about it.
Hmm.
But yeah, he kept that from me our entire time of dating, all throughout high school. I couldn't believe it. Not a single person, and other people knew. And then one of my best friends keeping that from me the whole entire time. And him and I had a very like traumatic relationship, I feel like. Like it was just
And
ups
to
and
be
downs.
so young.
Yeah, and we were so young. And yeah, that was my first love. So that was really tough. And then after that, I started dating this guy who was a couple years older than me. I think he was like 20. I was like 17 or 18, or maybe he's 21, and I was like 17 or 18. And I actually was living with the guy at the time, and we were together, I think, for like 2 years. And I don't know how this fucking happened, but I remember I came home one time and we were already kind of like separating, but we were still living together. And I remember I came home and he was in the shower and I heard a girl's voice and I was like, "Oh, so you were in the shower with someone else and he knew that I was going to be home." It wasn't like I was home when I wasn't, I didn't say I was going to be. So I was like, "Cool."
Wow.
Oh, yeah. And then so I go into our bedroom and her stuff's there, her clothes and whatever. And I was like,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
awesome. So I left and went to our mutual friend's house. So at the time, this was when I was out of high school. He was in college and we had the same friend group. Like growing up, I was always like a guy's girl. I was never really like friends with girls. I had like two or three really good friends, but I mostly hung out with the guys. And so we had all the same guy friends, like they were my friends and they were his friends. And so I went over to their house because there was like three of us that all lived in the same neighborhood. So I went over and I was like, yeah, so I got home. He's in the shower with another girl, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no fucking way. I'm like, yeah, I'm telling you. And then so I end up going home later and I go, what the fuck was that? And he just like acted like it like wasn't a big deal at all. This was like 2 years after we were dating too. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, like telling me that she's coming over. And then I start, because I've dated, so most of my ex-boyfriends were drug dealers. Okay. So usually always dated a drug dealer, except for my last ex and my ex-husband. Everyone else has been a drug dealer. I'll just throw that out there.
Wild
I'm
child.
learning so much about Valentine's.
What's
So,
happening in San Diego?
yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy out there. And so I guess I find out that she was like started giving him blowjobs for drugs. So that's kind of how it started, I guess. And then they
What
just
the?
started fucking, and then apparently they wanted to be together, whatever. And she was like a wannabe like porn star. She like wanted to get into the porn industry and all this stuff. And so they just were hooking up, and I was like, okay. But we were still living together. And I'll never forget this either. I remember I went over to my girlfriend's house and she was having a beach party. She had a house that was right on the beach. She had like her own private beach. And so we all went down there and we were all like skinny dipping. And so we all had the same friends. And so I was skinny dipping with this guy that I always thought was super hot. And then we go back upstairs and then we're like all over each other and we're making out and stuff like that. And then one of my best friends, and meanwhile, this was probably a couple weeks after I found out that my boyfriend at the time was doing that. And so she comes in and she is so freaking pissed off at me. She's like, "Found what the fuck? I can't believe you would do that to him. You're over here making out with it," because it was like his best friend that I was making out with. But I was really good friends. And she's like, I can't believe you're over here making out with his best friend. Like, you guys live together. You've been together for like 2 years. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, she went off on me. Okay. And I was like, I just let her finish. And I was like, girl, I was like, I found out that he was cheating on me with some wannabe porn star. I walked in on them in the fucking shower and she was like, whoa, okay. I was like, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna do
Wow.
what I want. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so that was crazy. And then after that, I was with a good guy for a couple years, no cheating there. And then after that, I met my ex-fiance, no cheating there. And then after that is when I was single for like the first time in a while, and I started dating my coworker at the time. And then I thought that, he was like looking for another job. I thought that we were gonna like be in a relationship and start dating, and then come to find out and I was at his house probably every single night. Every single night I was at his house. And then I come to find out later that he actually had a girlfriend who lived with him the whole time
What?
that I've been doing that.
So where was she
Where
the
was
whole
she?
time?
I don't know. That's what I guess I'll never know. I don't know. I guess she was maybe staying at her parents' house. She was also in school. So I think maybe they had some kind of weird schedule that like on school nights she'd stay at her parents because I think maybe like her parents was closer to the school or
Mm,
whatever. But I guess like all her stuff was like in drawers and stuff. Like she had stuff there, like she lived there. And I didn't know. I mean, I didn't see that. I never went through his drawers. Like I
right.
Because
He
why
hid
would
it
you?
from you.
Yeah, so he hid it from me the whole time, and then one of the girls at work told me that, and I was like, I don't believe you. Like, there's no fucking way he has a live-in girlfriend. I'm literally with him. And if I wasn't with him at his house, we're working together. So it's like we're
Yeah.
working together, we're going home together, like every single night. I'm like, you're lying. There's no way. She's like, I'm not lying, I'm telling you. And so I'd ask him, he's like, no, the hell are you talking about? I'm like, I know, it's fucking crazy, right? And then, because I didn't believe her, and then she, I don't know, I guess assumed like I don't know if she didn't think I didn't believe her or maybe she thought I didn't care. Either
Hmm.
way. and that wasn't necessarily the case. And then, she ends up going to management, and then I end up losing my job,
Oh,
and then she
fuck.
got fired
That's
because
how that happened.
yeah, because she said that I was sleeping with a employee.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it was a whole
man.
scandal.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, so I'm just like, damn, honey. So,
I am so shocked that because I remember you told us that you got fired from that job because of X, Y, and Z, but I didn't
mhm,
realize that he was also dating the
mhm.
girl that worked there
He
too.
wasn't dating a girl that worked there. She didn't work there. But his
Oh,
girlfriend,
okay.
they were together for 3 years at the time. 3 years.
Oh,
That's a
gotcha.
long, long-term,
Long fucking
serious
time.
relationship. 3 years.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And yeah, so
Mm.
that was crazy. And she actually, the last night that I worked there, she actually saw us together. Him and I guess we were working and then we were closing the restaurant and then we were going to leave to go to his house, per usual, like we did every night. And apparently she started suspecting that he was cheating on her, and so she drove to the restaurant and I guess wait, so this is how it all started unraveling. I totally forgot about all this. So I'm at the restaurant, right? I'm managing. He's serving. He starts freaking out. He's coming in the kitchen, he starts sweating, he's freaking out. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And he's like, I just don't want to take care of those people out there. And I was like, well, and I think we were like a couple hours into closing, so we would always like cut servers. So I think he was the last one there. So it's like he really didn't have a choice. Like he had
Mm.
a table. So I'm like, what's going on? And I remember it being two girls. And I was like, why is he freaking out like this? And so he ends up taking care of them. Nothing weird happens, but he would like be sitting down at the table talking to them. So I knew that he knew them.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, so after they left, I'm like, so what was that? And he was just like, oh, it's just girls, that I used to be friends with or whatever. I'm like, okay, whatever. So we end up leaving. I go to his house, and then the next day is when I get fired. So later find out that those two girls were his girlfriend's best friends. And so that's why he was freaking out because the best friends walked into the restaurant and started like basically questioning him about me.
Oh
And
my
that's
God.
when he was freaking out. I didn't know that that was going down. And then apparently, while they were doing that, the girlfriend was waiting in the car. So this was about 2 hours before we had closed. So that happened, whatever. I don't think about it anymore. We close, we leave. I go to his house. I stay the night. And I go
Mm-hmm.
home the next morning, and then yes, I find out that she and her friends stayed in the car that 2 hours and waited to see if they saw us. Like, I think what I remember is that she wanted to see us like kiss or like make out or something or like hold hands or something. And in the parking lot, and then she would have gotten out of the car and been like, "What the fuck is this?" Blah 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 blah. But that didn't happen, right? Because
Yeah.
I would say I'm smart, but I'm not that smart because obviously I ended up getting caught. But there's cameras everywhere, and we were never like that. We were never touching,
Oh.
never. It was never like that. So when we're walking out in the parking lot, we're literally just walking out and going to our own cars and driving off.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it doesn't look like anything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I later find out that she was waiting there to see if that happened. And so since that didn't happen, I think she also got in her head like maybe I'm just like overreacting or thinking too much of it. I didn't see anything and they went the separate ways because we would always drive separate ways. And that's that. And luckily, I'm still thinking, I'm like, I'm surprised she didn't go to his house that night.
Oh my
You know what I mean? Because
God.
if she went to
Yeah.
his house that night, she would have definitely saw us and would have definitely seen me, but she didn't. So
Because she
I don't
probably
know.
didn't think that he would be
I was
dumb
like,
enough to take you there.
yeah, that part too. So, and yeah, that part too. I mean, she could have driven past his house and seen his truck and been like, okay, he went home. He didn't go to her house. I mean, she could have been thinking that too, actually. I didn't even think about that. Not thinking, oh, yeah, he's that much of an asshole that he would bring her to like where we live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's fucking crazy, huh?
Holy shit. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Wild child. And I wonder, where is he today in 2026?
Well, actually, he came to visit me at work. Um,
What?
yeah, he came to visit me at work. When I came back, so about 3.5 years ago. So this was probably about 3.5 years later. After that happened, I had no contact with him because I ended up getting married and all that. Um, and then yeah, he slid into my DMs right
Wow.
before, yeah, right after I got divorced, and he actually got engaged to that girl. Well,
Oh my
so I got
God.
married, he was engaged. And yeah, she found out about everything. So she forgave him and all of that. And then they worked through it obviously because they ended up getting engaged, but I mean they're not together anymore. I don't know what happened. But yeah, so he slid into my DMs and I had saw that online that they had broken up, and then I was like, yeah, I just got a divorce or whatever, and he was like obviously wanting to hang out.
Hmm.
Like, I'm good, And then
Yeah.
yeah, he actually came to my work that night that he was DMing me and came in and to apologize about everything. Yeah, I
Wow.
was surprised. I was like, whoa, I was not expecting this because he never apologized back then. But he just was like, he's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I really didn't think that you were gonna lose your job over that. I didn't think that those girls were gonna run and tell them. Like, I didn't think it was gonna escalate to this. Like, you didn't deserve to, because I had worked there for 10 years. Like, that was my
Yeah.
career. That's what I was doing
Yeah, it
in
was.
my life. Like, I was traveling and opening restaurants and just like working my
Hmm.
way up to run that whole show. And so, yeah, so he
Wow. Apologize.
apologized. Yeah.
Oh, see.
And then, funny enough, actually, a couple weeks ago, I'm at work and the bitch that got me fired walks in.
I remember, yeah,
Oh
that you told
Yeah,
us
and
about her.
I hadn't seen her in what is it, 7, 8 years it's been. And my jaw dropped because I was like, there's no way we're hiring this chick. And it ended up
The one that did that came in the back and you were like, "Oh no, no, no."
yeah, yeah, yeah. And she ended up just being like the beer rep or whatever. And I
Yeah.
haven't seen her since, but just that one time I was like, wow.
And talk about a small world because she moved up into management and now she's doing this. Like, so that's wild.
Well, she didn't move up into me. Well, actually, what's funny because she was a waitress too. So, they were both servers. But what's funny is, so after she got me fired, a month later, she ended up getting fired.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
So,
karma's a bitch.
yeah. So I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was some fast acting karma. So,
Yeah.
Damn.
Like
yeah.
that.
Crazy.
We like that.
Yeah.
Well, that was riveting.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah. So those are my stories.
Yeah. Sarah, do you have
Juicy.
any stories? Do you have any stories from your relationships?
You know, she was giving me flashbacks. It's like, oh shit. I will tell a short, quickie one for tonight because I know we're on a time crunch. But I don't know if I've told you this before, Val, but one of the guys I was like madly in love with in my 20s that I was like dating here and there, and I knew he was a player and I just didn't care. I was like, I'm gonna try to figure out how to make this work. He never did technically commit to me, I will say that. But one night I was at his house, I slept over, obviously we had our fun. And then I woke up in the morning. Mind you, I'm in Inglewood, California, where he lives. Okay. I hear a on the window right above the bed that we're sleeping in. And I look up and it's a girl screaming, fucking yelling, speaking Spanish. And I'm like, am I about to
Oh.
get my ass beat? Like, I'm scared for my life. So I grabbed my stuff and I like booked it out the door. I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, where am I? Where am I? Like, did I even drive here? Like, I didn't know that somebody had claimed him. Because I'm thinking he's just your average player that I love. So I gotta try to figure out how to make this work. But I didn't know someone actually thought she was your girlfriend. Like that's news to me, dude. But a toxic trait of mine back in the day. I immediately get back with these guys. I'm like, that's fine. I'll just sleep with your best friend, boo.
Yeah.
Uh, and so that's what I did.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's so was that girl actually his girlfriend or she just like thought that
I don't remember.
okay.
But I imagine he must have told her like this is a thing for her to get so she was angry and then like crying and he was like, you need to leave now. Like I think he feared for my life too. I'm like, oh
I'm surprised
my.
you ran out the front door. I would be scared. I'd be like, "Do you have like a drain pipe or something I can crawl down on the back of the building or something? Because I am not going through that front door."
Sneak me out the back. Oh
Oh
my
my
God, I'm like getting chills just thinking about it. But years later, or a few years later, I did see on Instagram he had had a baby and he's a dad now.
Still with her?
Um, I don't know. I can't remember what she looks like, but I was hunting. I was like, who is this bitch? Who finally got him to knock her up? Because I'm surprised he didn't have a baby 20 years ago. But yeah, that was like one. Oh God, I was like, I cannot believe this is happening to me. This is crazy. Yeah, I just, hooked up with this friend and all was well right with the world. There was another guy I remember getting like upset with or just drama in your 20s, like dating. I can't remember what. Oh no, that was okay, another very quick story. My college boyfriend, that poor guy. I did love him, but
Oh no.
he went, he was a year older than me and he went away to law school and I was still in college. And then of course, knowing me, I'm like, well, the distance. Uh, I started dating one of sort of like fell into this thing. I guess the kids call it situationship
Mhm.
with his one of his high school friends. So when he came to visit, the other guy and his friends were at my house. And I was like, oh, he's coming to visit. It'll all be fine. It was not fine. Fights happened, yelling. People were thrown in jail. It was a story for another time. But
Oh my goodness.
it was,
Wow.
he barely talked to me ever again after that. I really didn't think he had ever spoken to me ever again. But then a couple years ago, I was like reading through some old emails, and it looks like in my 20s, I forgot all about this. In my 20s, we were like talking here and there, but nothing ever happened because I mean, I made the guy spend some time in jail. So,
Oh my God.
and I
Crazy.
almost missed my college graduation, but he begged them to let me out, and then I was hungover and dead asleep. Coming out of jail, walking across Loyola Marymount, getting my college bachelor's. I'll never forget that night.
Wow. Yeah. Memories.
Yeah, yeah. Told you. I was like, this is all coming back to me as Fallon's telling her story. I'm like,
Right?
damn.
And as I was telling mine, I kept getting all these memories. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about all this.
Spicy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So not good. Definitely have had a lot of toxic traits, but my favorite one was sleeping with the best friend. That always helped me feel better.
Hmm.
So.
Oh yeah.
Wow. I mean, my story is not like this. My story is not like this, guys. And mine is in my adult years. So I feel like and now like hearing yours as stories and them happening kind of like at a younger age, I wonder how like I would have reacted at a younger age, like
Mhm.
you guys with the make out at the friend's house and then you sleeping with the best friend, that kind of thing. Like, would I have retaliated? Or like what would I have done at a younger age? But my experience is older, fresh, 3 years ago. you
Yeah.
know. Um, and I obviously it's still very emotional for me. I don't think I realized how emotional it was for me until like a week ago. I think I was telling Fallon, and I went to a very long, like 3.5 hour breath work session. It was very interesting and unique, and it was meant to like purge things out. And the very first thing that kind of made me cry was talking about that. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize that still affects me. But um, I guess we haven't told the audience ever that I was married. I was in a relationship for 8 years. We were married for 1 year, and like a month after our 1 year anniversary, I found out that my husband at the time um was, yeah, I guess just cheating on me in a different country. Um, I don't really like that's probably as detailed as I'll get in that because it was pretty um it was a lot. A lot went on that I found out, and I found out because we had a very normal, like healthy, I thought, relationship. He was just handing me his phone to get his insurance information. So, like handing each other our phones wasn't really a big deal. But when you go to sh send something
Hmm.
and like on the iPhone, it shows you like recently or, the contacts like that or recent contacts. There
Hmm.
was one from an app that you only use when you're out of country. And I was like, who the fuck is that? And he immediately went like silent, quiet, like ghost, like pale. And I was like, just take me home because we were driving. I was like, take me home. Because I knew just right then and there, like something happened because of how he acted, right? And he didn't say anything. And because I feel like he just was like in shock, and I was in shock. And then I went on this handy dandy computer that I have now because it's hooked up to his phone. And I got to read all of the text messages he has with his friends because he was talking about it in full detail with photos, all that kind of stuff. Um, in the group message, in the group chat. So I got to learn that way.
Yeah.
And and yeah, that was the end of my marriage right then. So
Yeah, girl, it's the
yeah.
audacity. And I will say, mamas, this, in my opinion, I know like we've had our relationships in the past foul, but this is so much more on a serious, like deeper connection. I mean, you guys were married. We are older now. Um, and it's just a lot. It's a lot to go through. I'm so sorry you had to go through that, mamas.
Mm. You got this, girl. We love you. We're here for you.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I think just like now that my cousin's like kind of going through it too, I was like just also like it's very fresh in my mind that now I
Yeah.
know what she's going through like mentally, and that kind of like psychological aspect of it. And like betrayal trauma is so deep, like it completely rewires your brain um in an instant too. It's like you have no idea who you are anymore. Your reality is completely shifted. Like everything you thought was,
Mm.
your world is just, it's fallen apart, and you don't know what's real and what's not, and you don't know how to trust anyone or yourself. Um,
Oh, yeah.
so I don't wish it upon anyone.
No.
Mm-mm.
And not even like my worst enemy because it doesn't feel good, and it's very difficult to grow out of. Obviously, it's 3 years and it's still upsetting,
Hmm.
despite all the work and all the healing that you do. So,
Yeah.
um, I will say that I am in a way like not grateful for it, but if that hadn't happened, I don't think I would have been like, again, I always say I was catapulted into this person that I am now. Like I really do feel like I was just thrown like midair. Like I picture that in my brain that I was just like thrown midair into like finding myself and like really diving into my spirituality and all those things. And I think it unlocked a lot of the knowledge and like the intuition and all that stuff that I didn't realize I had been keeping so buried, you know?
Mm.
So I am really grateful in that sense. I'm not grateful in any way that it happened to me, but like I am grateful that it completely just broke me open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, because I feel like it made me more powerful, um, and more wise and stronger. Unfortunately, I hate that we have to be stronger every single time something happens to us, but
Hmm.
um, I do feel like, I wouldn't be the woman I'm becoming now, or the woman that I am now, the woman that I'm becoming if it hadn't happened.
Yeah.
Um, but I do want to say, like, I hope that anyone who has gone through this, especially in a more traumatic way, like, I still very much believe in love. And I still want to find that love. And I still like feel like I'm just like a hopeless romantic. And sometimes I just like smile, like, I love love so much. And I genuinely believe that it exists in the way that we want and deserve it to be. So I don't want anyone to lose hope. Like when I'm talking to my cousin, for example, and she's like so down on herself, I'm like, that's not what I want for you. And of course, it's, we're going to go through phases. It's grief. It's a lot of grief. When I was like doing therapy and stuff, they were often, and all the podcasts and all the books that I listened or read or whatever, it was like, you're essentially grieving this person like a death.
Hmm.
And that's really what it felt like. And as someone who like feels very deeply, which I love that about me, and I don't ever want that to change. I don't ever want something like this to harden me in that way. Like, yeah, it sucks to feel that deeply when those kinds of things happen, but then I wouldn't love as deeply either, I don't think.
Hmm.
But sometimes when I've thought about this in the past, and again, like I don't talk about it, and I try not to think about it because it takes me back to that feeling that deep pain. And so I dream of the day and I hope that that becomes less and less over time. Because it feels like, I mean, I can put myself, and I don't know if everyone can, but I can because of how I feel it like it happened 24 hours ago,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, that's my story. It's less, there's less laughter in that one. But um yeah, I don't know really what else to say about that.
Well,
Well,
I'm
so,
glad.
oh, go
Hmm.
ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm glad you shared your experience as well, because I think so many women listening will be able to relate to all three of our stories. Yeah, because, some are way sillier and this one is way more serious than mine personally. But that feeling of like, I think when people go through it, sometimes they feel alone, at least the couple of the girlfriends I've had to witness literally going through this very same experience, because you and I started getting closer again post divorce. Um, but I think that our listeners just, if they can take one big thing away, is like, you're not alone. And that's when my friends tell me, like, and I remember when Val, and we've talked about that before, when you were going through those issues with your marriage and like you weren't telling anyone. That's my one wish for all the women is like, you're not alone. If you can find one woman who will listen to you, maybe she'll be able to relate, but there's always someone who will be there for you. And if it's not,
Yeah.
if you can't think of anyone, reach out to us girlies, you know.
Yeah, and now that you had said that too, like there is a lot of shame that tends to surround this, especially for the person who was on the bad side, right? Like the side of me, whether that's man or woman. Um, But since I'm a woman, I'll just speak to that and that there's like often shame or blame placed on like, well, what did you do? Like, did you satisfy? Like those kinds of things that just make you question like, well, is it my fault? But one, hands down, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that is 1,000% an issue that they have with themselves. And I genuinely do believe that. Did I go through all the stages? And do I sometimes have like those moments of like, it was, or, how can I place blame on myself? Absolutely. I went through that a lot in the beginning. Um, but I honestly, I pretty quickly was like, no. Like within a month or two, I was like, absolutely was not my fault.
That's good.
Um, I also think though that it helped because he took 150 million% of the blame. He never once
Mm,
tried to put it on me in any way whatsoever. Not on our relationship, not on our any of our dynamic, anything like that. He took, accountability for it 1,000%. Not everyone does that.
hmm.
Um, my cousin's husband is blaming her, for whatever he wants to say. So I think that the shame thing and how, oh, people are going to judge me because my marriage only lasted a year, or people are going to judge me because he cheated, or, um, I don't want any woman to feel shame at all. And I don't want them to ever feel like it's their fault. I don't care if you were crazy. I don't care if you didn't do the dishes. I don't care if you didn't satisfy him. It's not your fault. It
Hmm.
really isn't because it's their actions and they chose to do something to betray someone else. Um, leave if you're not happy, period.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that, I made light of like, oh, like my story is not as funny or is not like as fun as your guys' story to kind of offset that like shame for a second because I was feeling like, well, shoot, like now I'm gonna bring this down, like, we were having like, oh, having a laugh about these experiences, and then I was like, well, now I'm gonna bring it down because I don't feel like my experience was like that, and so I brought that shame back in for a second, and so now I just wanted to address that. I did that for a moment because I still don't want to feel that, and I don't want anyone to feel like they have to downplay their situation in any way.
Absolutely, girl. I love how open and honest you are for the community, really.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I think that for your ex, stepping into that accountability is uh it's like of the situation of what I know. The one like helpful part of going through of hearing like about your separation. Because me and younger especially going through of like, okay, it did take a while. I was like, I do want to start looking inward because why do I keep behaving like this? And side note, because I almost forgot. Well, I mean, I've told you guys all the time, but when I met Paul, I was dealing with my ex. So what I so Paul always tells people when we met, he goes, I think he said something like, "Do you have a boyfriend?" And I was like, "Kind of, sorta." And he was like, "Well, tell him to bring his A game." And he looks back at that.
Oh,
He's like, "Cause I'm coming." And he looks back
oh.
at that now, and he was like, "I should not have said that." It was funny, and we joked about it for so long, but now he's like, I should have stepped back and been more like respectful of whatever it was you were going through. And so our situation was I had tried to break up with this man and I just didn't do it fully. So I was like one foot in, one foot out kind of thing. That's why when people always say, like, how long have you been with Paul? I never really count that first year, which he knows. Like, we don't really count the first year because I was still figuring out my shit. And I wasn't fully committed to him until it was like finally over. So looking back at all my mistakes, that's like the one proud moment I have of like, well, at least my marriage started off kind of funky, but I didn't step all the way in it. It didn't overlap like so many of my crazy past histories.
Yeah.
So I just feel my heart goes out to your cousin because he just sounds like a total jackass, you
Hmm.
know?
Mhm.
Are they married?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Married, have two kids.
Oh my God.
Married, have two kids, and he had two kids already.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Did I tell you this, Fallon, that Star actually got to see this man?
No.
In the
Um,
flesh.
After we went to the music festival on Friday, um, we went to Oso and we ate. And next thing I know, I look up and I see him walking in with the girl.
Right there in public, drinking and eating,
Yeah, it
tons of
was
people,
crazy.
full ass bar.
You?
Yeah. Oh, I went up to him.
Yes, she did.
What
She
did you say?
I was just like, "Hey, you wanna talk with me?" And the thing is that the girl knows too that he's married
Okay.
with kids. Of course, I don't know what he's told her. You know, he could be telling her they're separated, sleeping in different rooms, blah 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 blah. But I know my cousins reached out to her and been like, "We're still married and we still absolutely sleep together." And so I don't know. I don't care. I paid her no mind. I didn't look at her. I didn't make eye contact with her. She was not a person in the area at the moment. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was unprepared for that situation. I was not expecting to see him because he doesn't even live down here. He lives in Havasu. So he comes down here to see this woman.
What a small world.
Yeah. I was
right?
like, of all the bars you walked into at this moment, it's this one in downtown Gilbert. Like, this is the one you want to walk into. Um, and I was just asking him like questions. I was like, what's going on? Like, what happened? And he's like, I don't have to explain anything to you. I only have to explain things to her. He's like, we talked this morning. And I was like, yeah, what did you decide? And he was like, we're not moving forward. And I was like, does she know that? Did you tell her specifically you are not moving forward, you're getting a divorce? Or did you like beat around the bush so she's confused? You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, we're getting a divorce. And I was like, okay. Like what happened? You know, what led to this and why did you do it this way? Why didn't you leave her before you met someone? Why didn't you, do that? Because now she's gonna have to live with this again, because I know she's gonna have to live with this trauma for the rest of her life while you get to go do whatever the fuck you want. And I was like, are you okay with do you feel good about this? And he said, yeah.
Wow. And did you fact check him and did you call her after and
I
be like,
texted her
oh,
after she was already sleeping, but she woke up at like 3 a.m., which I felt bad because that's the text she woke up to because I was gonna be hiking and I had texted her just like, hey, I'm sorry, but I ran into him. And so I explained it to her because I knew that by the time she woke up, I'd be hiking and I wouldn't be able to speak to her, so she could read it or whatever when she woke up. But she woke up at 3 a.m. and she said she didn't go back to sleep because she was just crying. I was like, well, shoot, sorry. Like, I should just waited till I got back from my hike. Um, and she was like, that's funny because he had slept with her that morning. And then they had the conversation. He still didn't say that they were getting a divorce. And just that, and then that he was just like, blaming her for everything anyway. Um, And yeah, so but I think that they are now because she had said something as she's filling out paperwork and things like that.
Oh
so
man.
did she have you check this for this guy's truck? Was she with you or were you by yourself?
No, Mercedes and I went actually together. She just said, "Hey, how close is this apartment complex from you?" And I said, like 15, 20 minutes. She's like, "How much do you love me? Will you go check for his truck there? I don't know where he is. That's the only place he could be." So I'm like, "Sure." I go over there. We drive around the whole apartment complex. I don't see his truck. So I don't know, but it did make me think like how many times have we driven by someone's house or someone's work to see who's there, for a friend or, for ourselves, like we got to see where he really is, you know what I mean? Which is crazy that we have to do that or we have had to do that in the past, you know?
That's
And now
crazy.
if I feel like if I ever have to do that, just bye. Like I don't even want to do that.
Yeah, that's not happening.
It's just we're done. I can't even do it. If I even have to question you in that way, I can't.
The only time I had, because I've done like crazy stuff for myself, obviously. But the only time that I've done it for somebody else was um one of our girlfriends that we know um found out that her ex was cheating on her, and so she told me that he said he was like supposed to be at some random place, but he wasn't there. And I think I forget how she figured out. I think maybe she had his location on.
Always the damn phone location.
Yeah, or something. I forget exactly what happened. This was a couple years ago. And so she's like, "So I'm gonna go do a drive-by." And I was like, "Well, fuck it, I'll come." And yeah, I remember thinking like we're like, okay, we need to like be camouflaged or like dress in black, like if we're gonna have, because we didn't know what was gonna happen. Like, are we gonna have to? Because oh, he said he was supposed to be at like a work function. Oh, okay. He said it was supposed to be at a work function, but when she saw where he's at, he was at the Hotel Valley Ho.
Oh no.
Yeah, so when we pulled up at the Hotel Valley Ho, because she's like, he's not at a work function, he's at the Hotel Valley Ho. So we're like, okay, so now we're thinking, okay, we're gonna have to get out of the car, we're gonna have to like snoop around. And I think she ended up getting out of the car and like asking someone, and that person was saying that they were at a work function, which was the work function that he was supposed to be at. So the
Oh
work
my
function was actually
gosh.
at the Hotel Valley Ho. That's just where they were hosting it. But she thought
Oh.
that he was there doing the dirty.
Uh-huh.
But he was cheating at that time. So it wasn't like complete out of the blue. He was cheating that time. So
Got it.
yeah, so he was cheating on her, but
Ugh.
that he legit was at a work function in that moment. So, but that's
Yikes.
the only time I've ever like helped someone else or like had to have helped someone else, a friend, do something out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything, but I like this. I gotta dig deep.
I had someone like do their own FBI work on themselves. My ex-boyfriend, the one relationship I've been in since my ex-husband. Well, one, he lives nearby my best friend, so if she just drives normal life, she passes by his house. And she's like, she texted me one day, she's like, whose car is this? And I was like, I have no clue whose car this is in his driveway. And so I'm calling him and he's not answering. He's supposed to be at work. I don't know, whatever. And we did share location at the time. And I'm like, what is happening? Like he is just ratting himself out because one, I we share location, first of all. Second of all, he's like, high, drunk, whatever, sending me like pictures, screenshots of his own phone. And like, and then it's like showing me where he is on that too. Because on on location, okay, I learned this too, guys. When you share location on iPhone, some businesses have different names. So a strip club that he was at said something else. But on Google Maps, it shows me the name of the strip club.
Interesting.
Yes. I was like, okay. It was like some waste removal company on location on iPhone. And then on Google Maps, it was a strip club. Now I knew that, and the only reason I checked that is because he sent me a picture of his own phone and it said like because he was like, I'm trying to get an Uber. And I'm like, well, where are you? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay. So he sends me a picture of this Uber thing and it says pick up at and the name of the strip club. And mind you, it doesn't say like blah 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 strip club, it just says like, and so I Googled the name of the place and it was a
And
strip
that's what
club. And I
popped
was like,
up.
oh, you don't know where you're at? You don't know where you're at. So I was like, I don't even need to have anybody do drive-by service because you're just you're just ratting yourself out. Interesting. But
Unbelievable.
yeah, now people know.
Now
iPhone
they
is out here trying to help cheaters.
Yeah.
And
And
really,
then people are
meanwhile,
having their location on so they know where their people are at. And then it's like, oh, well, the location's not gonna be 100% correct anyways.
yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
always cross-reference, ladies. Always cross-reference. If you're like, why is he
the
at,
real spy
why is, first of all,
shit.
why is he at waste removal at this hour? Like,
Hmm.
why is he at waste removal at 9 o'clock at night? No,
Closed
he's
during
not at
business
waste removal.
hours.
That's crazy.
Well, to bring it full circle and what's happening in the world, did you guys see Megan Thee Stallion's post?
I didn't see it, but I did see a reel about her at a concert putting her ex on blast for cheating on her. But yeah,
Mm.
I didn't see the post.
Yeah, girl. She just seems so heartbroken. And I actually was gonna reshare one of the influencers I follow. She's like a quotes motivational mindset business girly. And she had this beautiful carousel of just like 10 very like critical moments of like why this is such a just crazy. And I'll send it to you guys. But I was
Yeah.
like, damn, she just nailed it. And she had a good point. She was like, even though this keeps happening to so many people, this doesn't mean that the right person for you doesn't exist.
Hmm.
So to just like, don't let it depress you. Don't get down. Like, obviously, be in your feelings, but then pick yourself back up and just come back to life. Because,
Hmm.
you know,
And hugs, hugs. I'm sending all the hugs to anyone who's currently going through it right now.
yeah, so many hugs. Well, thank you, Brett, for this very touching episode. No, I'm kidding. Um,
Very, very good episode.
of SVU. Um, no,
Thank you,
it's
ladies, for
I don't.
listening and supporting. Appreciate you.
Aw. Give us a message, ladies, like, or if you feel like sharing or just, letting us listen. Have you ever been on the side of cheating or the cheater, vice versa? And how did move past it? Or are you still processing it? We'd
Hmm.
love to chat.
Yes, we
Oh,
would.
okay.
Thank you, ladies.
Yes, until next time.
Bye.
Bye.